This show is Brave Destiny, the world's largest show of living surrealist, visionary, fantastic artists in the world. This is an H.R. Giger sculpture, Birth Machine Baby, kind of the feature of the show, very representative of the brave destiny of humanity. This is the work of Carol Quint, a prize winner, one of the top prize winners in the Brave Destiny show. Strange little creatures, aren't they? And you can see why they won a prize. The work of Karl Unemisch. And there's a piece by Warren Buck, our own webmaster. Very delightful little fantasy. City in a bottle kind of a thing. There was a lot of jewelry presented in the show. That's H.R. Giger in the upper corner there. That's Axel, a very well-known New York artist. Works a lot in jewelry. Various works of art that were too small to be displayed lest they be stolen. Put in your pocket. Beautiful jewelry. I especially like that one there. Just to pan the gallery a bit on the first floor, shows you what a beautiful wall this is, full of the most gorgeous works of art. Surrealist visionary in the show Brave Destiny. There's a painting by Mariu from New Mexico. I really loved that painting when it was unpacked. Now it's kind of featured on the first floor. It's another great work. Although it didn't win a prize, it should have won one of the first place prizes. And there is a work by Geraldo Alfonso Piquera. Fantastic artist. He did win a prize. Most incredible thing. Work by Isaac Abrams. Very psychedelic. And there's a work by Dana Parlier. This work of art in particular has been on the first floor for the last couple of years. We like his work very much. This is a work by Hawk Alfredson. In fact, he felt the lighting on it was not good enough. He almost won a prize, they were talking about it, but didn't quite make the break. This is the work of our artistic director and founder of the WA Center, Yuko Ni. She is a fabulous artist, a great artist. A friend of the late Isamu Noguchi, Esteban Vicente, some of the greatest artists of the 20th century. They considered her a great artist also. Below it, I'm fortunate to be hanging in her midst one of my own paintings, Terence Lindahl. Another painting hanging there. Great Russian. Some other works. We'll get a little closer view in a minute. That's pretty good. We got on New York One television.
Really?
With the ball, yeah.
It's I heard that it was a lot of people.
It was as many as could be in the center. Yeah, packed.
Nice. The space looks nice.
Yeah, it does.
You opened the space, right?
What's that? Yeah. Cleaned up a bit.
Okay, I don't have that much time because I'm walking.
Yeah, you go ahead.
I'll go up, just check it out, maybe reset it up. And
Yeah, do what you want.
Can I see you go later?
No, she's not coming in. That's the work of Raphael Abrams. That's the son of Isaac, whose sculpture we seen earlier. Looks like Mayor Giuliani. I don't know if that is or not. I wonder what this lady's doing to that fellow. My goodness. The surrealists sure have a knack for telling stories. It's one of our great artists, Lenora Carrington. And below it is work by George Tooker, work promised to be in the show. And it looks like on the shelf, neurons. My brother, who's a neuroanatomist, would appreciate these. And up here is a work by Liz and Val. They're local Williamsburg artists and very well known here. And this is the work of the great Russian Fishgoit. That's John Jesse. And this is the great lady, great artist, Kinuko Kraft. She's been on the covers of many books and magazines. Glorious work. And this is a young artist, very young, with a great future, obviously, in the surrealist visionary market. She's 29 years old, but still, a master painter at her age. Her name is Maura Holden, in any case. This fantastic object, which has disgusted many people who have come to visit the show, is a work by Dana Parlier, again, one of my favorite sculptors. He's a master. Teaches at one of the schools here in New York City. You kind of get a look around it here, because at the back there are little surprises too. As you can see, quite a piece. Piece is called Animal, obviously. Some of our objects for sale here. It's a poster by myself. The owner of that painting, Dimitri Bellier, wanted to sell some posters, so he produced these for us. This work by Badenhausen, the prize committee was really seriously considering giving Lothariel Badenhausen a prize. Didn't quite make the cut. This strange work is by Titania Mameva, one of our more primitive artists. And this is a work by Gulshan Kalik. Very interesting object. Here's a brilliant work by Joshua Katcher. Very strange indeed. Up here is a beautiful work by Kevin Gillespie. He worked very hard as a volunteer to help hang the show and do a lot of the grunt work, actually, alongside all the rest of us. Other beautiful work. Marvelous, marvelous storytelling, a lot of ideas. This is the type of work you do not see in many New York galleries nowadays. Everything is, crash, bash, and garbage. The surrealist visionary artists are superb craftsmen. They know how to use oil to the best effect. They study the old masters. Some of the artists in the show, as we will see later on the second floor, practice something called the 16th century Mish technique, which was rediscovered by the great Ernst Fuchs. We will see his work on the second floor too. I love this work, the work of Jonah Königstein. Next to it down below here is Damian Michaels, who actually is the publisher of Art Visionary magazine and has a great art collection which is now touring 10 museums in Australia. He's currently doing a drawing for me. It hasn't been finished yet. It's going to be a masterwork for my collection. Marvelous art. This is the work of Adam Matas, one of the greatest artists. He's from Lithuania. This is probably not his greatest work, but it was small, so I took it for the fact that there are so many works of art in the show. I didn't think I was going to be able to hang them all. This section here, we have some very strange things: sunlight, plants, tornadoes, a lot of things happening here. Over on this side, we have the abstract fishes of the sea, very modernist, still, surreal, great pieces. This wall in particular I consider one of the great features of the show. This is very much like She in that great modernist film. I forget what it was called. This is a great piece, a piece of furniture possibly by Kameki. He uses computer print cards to actually construct these things. Fantastic, looks like an Egyptian monolith. I think he's the equal of Giger in many ways, although Giger may be more prolific. This painting here is by Peabody. And again, we come up on Marius Suarez, beautiful work of art. Down below in the center, this looks like a 16th century master. It's of a vampiress drinking blood. Again, a very beautiful young girl. I think she's 29 years old. She's Austrian, I believe, or something like that. Her name is, I can see it, Madeleine von Forster, indeed, Austrian. There's a very, looks like Mexican style work of art. Again, hanging below the work by Mariu, which again is in the kind of Mexican style. Has some Aztec. Here's by Chris Cuxey again, gorgeous work. I believe he uses spray paint. When I first saw this work of art, I thought, no, that's vinyl. You know, it's something printed on vinyl. I said, I don't want it in my show, even though it's such a fantastic image. But it turns out that the surface is so smooth and everything because it is. Indeed, he uses spray. Beautiful work on this floor. This is a master representational artist. Just glorious work. None finer in New York City. The work of Alison Weegee, I believe the name is. Beautiful work, kind of reminiscent of Bosch, Bruegel, or some of those. Great. Here's below him is Joe Catuccio. He's a local Williamsburg artist, master artist, drawing especially, and he has classes, or he has people visit his studio and sketch with him. Costs, I think, $5 to do that. And again, Geraldo Pequera, Alfonso Pequera, master artist, I believe of Cuban descent. This is a work by Volk. I wonder what his real name is. And I see that we haven't put his label on yet, and the piece of paper identifying him remains in the upper right-hand corner. One of the big complaints by artists in the show. We didn't have time, it was such a rush to put up nearly 500 artists in this show, all volunteer help of the artists, and it was a big rush toward the finish, but we got everything hung. Here's a strange work by Mikhail Gubin, one of our, I believe, Brooklyn Russian artists. Marvelous piece. Again, kind of panning the gallery from a different perspective. There's the front door through which so many thousands of people have come to visit this great show. And there's our bar. Again, the Giger, which I admire so much. Entering the small gallery, we can see first off the work of Alex, I believe Guzman is the name. He won a prize, one of the top prizes in the show, that's photography. A lot of black and white work on this wall here. The first floor, by the way, was hung by Yuko Ni, our artistic director, with great care. And really shows she did a marvelous job. There's the work by our own Christina Dallas. Great, innovative Williamsburg artist. Again, a work by one of our artists, Virginia Hogue, great watercolorist. Does fantastic work. This is Chris O'Brien, great photographer, master surrealist photographer, captain in a shark. He works for the Village Voice as a staff photographer. Can't identify all of the artists. It would take me forever to read their names. But as you can see, the work on the show on the first floor here is just superlative. This is Des Schwartzberger. We used to know him from days in Soho when he had a studio there. We visited him a couple of times. We exhibited at the same gallery with him, Yuko Ni and myself, Terrence Lindahl. The work down here should actually be hanging, but it would have taken a day to figure out how to hang it, so we just put it on a table here. Sad case. Here's work by Edward Coppola, again one of our artists locally here. He teaches at, I don't know, some local school, LaGuardia University or something like that. Again, just kind of panning the works of art in the small gallery, at least documenting how great this show is. Marvelous works of art, every single one. A master artist. It's absolutely frightening how many master artists there are of this genre in the world. We had close to 1,000 entries. This is a juried art show, and actually I had to reject a vast number of really master artists. This is the work of Gerard Barbeau. He is again one of our local Brooklyn artists. It's conceptual, surreal. As you can see, every nook and corner of the Waugh Center has art hanging on it. That's because this is the largest show of its kind in the world.